All right, so I got an email in my inbox and it was titled "Girls Do Not Want Me." So I'll keep this guy's name private because the whole goal, if ever I read something, is to not humiliate anyone. Pretty much not make any dude feel like they're bad or that they get humiliated or anything like that. I make sure to keep everyone on private. So the guy goes in the subject line, "Why girls do not want me?" And this dude writes me an email and he goes, "Hi, Casey. I see myself as a high value man. I am attractive. I have values. I have a purpose. Girls do not want me. The girls still choose those beta guys. I do not know why. They do not have any purpose and so on. They do not work on themselves, but girls and women still want them. Even if they are the top tier girls. What's the matter? Do you know why it is like this? Thank you for your answer." Now, I actually thought this was a hell of a question, so you probably won't like my answer. Some of you might think I'm an asshole or whatever, but don't really care because you got to basically know the truth when it comes to dating women. What we're going to do here today is we're going to break this down exactly line by line so that way you can get a good understanding why our friend over here is struggling. And then if any of you are like busy worker bees that tell yourself, "Oh, I just work really hard and I have this big purpose and now I'm this big stud and all the girls should want me," you're basically in for a rude awakening, okay? Let's break this down step by step. Okay, so the first sentence here, he goes, "I see myself as a high value man." Right off the bat, I already know you're watching too much content. You're probably too much in your head. If you're ever using these terms like, "Oh, Casey, I'm some stoic guy. I'm some high value man. Look at these betas." You're so in the lingo. Like you're all of a sudden like how normal people interact and how normal people talk. You're never gonna find some dude at a house party, a club, some dude like actually cold approaching or talking to a girl. People don't talk that way. So if you find yourself talking that way, you already know damn well you're way too up in your head because normal people don't walk around and say like, "Oh, I'm this high value guy." And truthfully, if you are a high value guy, the last thing a high value guy does is say the words, "I'm a high value guy." Okay? That's first. That's the first part. Next, I'm attractive, I have values, and I have purpose. Girls do not want me. Well, that's your first problem. If you have values and you have a purpose, that doesn't equal sexual attraction or sexual arousal. This is going to be a rude awakening for a lot of you, but what you got to understand about this is that if you have values and you have purpose, that is the opposite of sex appeal. Okay? People used to know this and understand this, and I'm going to get into a little woo woo type spiritual religion crap for just a second here so you can understand this. Things like value and things like purpose, okay, there was once upon a time before the internet and before social media where hooking up was considered bad. Okay? There was a time where hooking up or lust was considered degenerate behavior. There was also a time where people were most of the time shamed for that, whether that be in their friend group or whether that be in the community or what have you. Only now in recent times is this considered something good, and only in recent times is this considered something that makes you a success. There was once upon a time where that was considered engaging in degeneracy. So I'm going to just break this down for you as good as I can. If you have values, that's the opposite of sex appeal and seduction. If you have purpose, that is the opposite of sex appeal and seduction. Now, if you're 32 years old and she's 29 and she's looking for a hubby, you're probably in good hands. She's like, "Oh, let's go out on a date and get some macaroni and cheese and we can talk about our future and build a house." That's not what you're asking me. What you're asking me is why you ain't getting chosen by the hot girls. The hot girls who are guided by their emotions, you're going to notice they're going to be hooking up with dudes who are acting stupid, guys who are oftentimes losers, guys who scream and shout whatever they want. A lot of times these guys have heavy amounts of tattoos. A lot of times these guys don't really give a fuck about anything. And a lot of times these guys are completely broke, right? All of those things equal sex appeal, or all of those things lead to lust or attraction or short term sex due to the fact that it is the opposite of everything that is good. Okay, so what you got to know is this was common knowledge once upon a time. If you're trying to get if you're trying to have the attractive girls want you sexually, you're going to have to do what most modern people engage in, and you're going to have to actually engage in that sort of lifestyle. And you're going to have to dumb yourself down so that way you can have these meaningless conversations, and so that way you can talk about useless nonsense. So the girl giggles and laughs, and then all of a sudden she goes home with you. That's typically how this shit works. You're never going to get a girl where she walks up and she goes, look at the purpose and values on that guy. They don't give a fuck. Okay, this is basic shit. Now, the girls still choose the beta guys, and I don't know why. Okay, you are considering them beta. The girls don't consider them beta. So you don't know how she sees the world. How you see the world and how she sees the world is completely different. Okay? You might look at that guy and go, oh, that's beta. She might look at that guy and go, that's alpha sex appeal. So just because you consider it beta doesn't mean that she does. And what you got to know is that if they're choosing those sorts of guys, they're choosing them for a reason. So clearly, when it comes to your social life or your social skills, you're doing something wrong that is not engaging or sparking the right sort of emotion. Next, I do not know why. Well, I just told you. You're basically husband material, and they're basically looking for a stiff dick and a good time. Now, they do not have any purpose and so on. They do not work on themselves. Okay, here's the other cold hard truth. When you say they don't have any purpose and so on, girls never look at a guy and go, God, look at the purpose on him. They're going to look at a guy and they go, he's funny, he's charming, he made me laugh, he's sexy. All of the stuff that you're typing to me is anti-seductive. So what I'm trying to tell you is that if you want to spark attraction, especially like in the short term now where the girl's sitting right there in front of you, you are going to have to engage in that sort of behavior, in that sort of conversation. Women don't like anything heavy, especially like anything that's heavy conversation, heavy like mentally. Okay, when you get a girl to laugh or when you get a girl to actually like you, you're typically talking about useless nonsense. Okay, or it's fun, it's lighthearted. A lot of times, oftentimes, what you're gonna notice is there's alcohol involved. It's a social setting. Any of this heavy stuff isn't going to get noticed because that's not going to do anything to her emotions. Next, they do not work on themselves. Okay, here's another cold hard truth for a lot of you. If you have to work on yourself in any way, shape, or form, to a lot of women, that's some sense of self-qualifying. So I want you to take two types of guys. This guy over here has to put in a shitload of work, a shitload of self-work, a shitload of self-improvement, and now he finally only half-ass feels enough to go start some sort of conversation. Women sense this and women can pick up on this. They're going to go, well, why does he need to work on himself? Why is he not confident as is how God made him? Why does he need all this shit to feel enough? And then also she's going to sit there and go, does he think that now that he's accomplished this or he's achieved this or he has purpose or he's built himself up, now all of a sudden he's entitled to my sexual desire? That sort of transactional behavior or that sort of self-qualifying doesn't work. So you're going to notice the guys who get the most amount of girls, especially when it comes to sexually or the things that are sexually arousing, these are going to be guys who don't have usually any values. They are not going anywhere in life. Okay, because there was once upon a time where those sorts of traits, okay, were also associated with lust and quick pleasure behavior, and there was once upon a time where it was all looked at as negative. Only today in the world are those sorts of things looked at as positive, and men are now trying to understand those behaviors and why it leads to the bedroom in the first place. Not to make this too long-winded, I hope I'm giving you some pretty good value here. I think I am, okay. He goes, but girls and women still want them. I basically told you why. He goes, even if they are the top tier girls. Yeah, like the top tier girls, I'm guessing you're talking about looks or beauty. Those women are seduced just like the bottom tier girls. It's all the same. So what I mean by that is it don't matter if you think they're top tier or not. Women are guided by their emotions. If you keep shit low level thinking, if you keep shit basically easy to digest and understand, you talk about useless nonsense. I mean, like, here's what you're going to notice. If you're at a bar, if you're at a club, if you're at a house party, the get to know you type talk is so surface level. It all turns into games. It all turns into fun. It all turns into play. And within the first 30 seconds, if you're not making her smile, laugh, or giggle, you're going to notice shit's going to go south very, very quickly. He goes, what's the matter? Do you know why this is? Yeah, I do know why this is. You're trying too damn hard. The second you just let go, the second you don't care, the second you stop giving a fuck, and the second you literally don't care, but like the second you stop trying to self-qualify, like, I went to the gym and I'm on my purpose and I learned how to do kickboxing, and now since I make 10 grand a month, now I'm entitled to that girl's attraction and she should just be wet. That ain't how shit works. So when you accept these truths, you're going to learn that sexual desire has nothing to do with how much you've improved in life. and these are totally irrelevant. And I'd also take you to, I'd also advise you to upgrade the competency of just understanding the world of how it is and realize if the women are choosing those guys, they're choosing them for a reason. If the women are attracted to those guys, her biology is attracted to them for a reason. So you consider those beta traits, the women are considering those alpha traits, and they're considering those alpha traits because that man doesn't have to self qualify, that guy doesn't have to self improve, that guy doesn't have to put in any work, but he's still able to let loose, have fun, have a good time. And to a woman, that is genuine confidence. Women fall in love with a guy on the internal, not the external, and she can see in a quick hurry if the internal of you is full of shit or not. If you like this video, I want you to hit the like button. Feel free to Q&A me, whatever, at the email below. We'll see you in the next one.